The Senate, yesterday, threw out a bill seeking the establishment of the Armed Forces Service Commission, AFSC, sponsored by the Minority Leader, Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe, PDP, Abia South, for fear of over-politicization of the armed forces. However, before the decision was reached at plenary, there was a heated debate as senators took turns to speak in support and against the piece of legislation, a development that forced the Senate to move into a closed-door session for about 20 minutes. Leadership reports that the bill earlier scaled the first reading stage on Tuesday, March 3, 2020 on the floor of the Senate. During the consideration of the bill for second reading and while leading the debate on the general principles of the proposed law, Senator Abaribe said the bill seeks to give effect to Section 219 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to provide for the Commission. This bill seeks to establish the Armed Forces Services Commission to ensure that the composition, appointment of service chiefs of the Armed Forces of the Federation reflects federal character of Nigeria in the manner prescribed in Section 217(3) of the 1999 Constitution, he said. He added that the proposed commission will, among other functions, recommend to the President from among the best and most qualified, most educated and most experienced members of the Armed Forces of the Federation for appointment as Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, and Director of Military Intelligence, including heads of other arms-bearing security agencies, in order to ensure that such appointments reflect the federal character principle. Advertisement Abaribe noted that the proposed commission will also recommend to the President the removal from office as service chiefs and head of other arm-bearing security agencies on ground of misconduct, abuse of office, breach of any section of the Constitution, the Armed Forces Act or any other act of the National Assembly. He added that the proposed commission will approve promotion from among the best, most competent and qualified officers as heads of military formations, branches such as general officers commanding divisions of the Nigerian Army and their equivalent in the Navy and Air Force. But after his submissions, other senators made contributions on the bill both in support and against the proposed law. The Deputy President of the Senate, Obi Omo Ajej, spoke against the bill, saying it sought to enact an act of parliament and will also be an inferior legislation on the constitutional provisions because the power to appoint service chiefs and heads of other security agencies was not done by the Senate. Only the President has the power to appoint, and that is the constitutional provisions. We should not end up making a law which is an act of National Assembly that will derogate on the clear powers the Constitution has already confined on Mr. President, Omo Ajej said. For his part, Senator Adamu Alero, APC, Kebbi Central, said he was against the bill because the armed forces, which he described as a symbol of Nigeria's unity and cannot be allowed to be politicized. Therefore, if we go on with this bill, we will end up compromising the unity, integrity and neutrality of the Nigerian armed forces, and that will be dangerous, Alero said. However, Senator Emmanuel Bawacha, PDP, Taraba South, warned against the politicization of the bill, saying senators needed to understand the character and content of the bill in order to appreciate its desirability. In my humble opinion, rather than politicizing this bill, I want to encourage my colleagues to understand the character and content of this bill. This bill is simply waking us up from sleep to do our job. That is how it is now. It is urging us to take a critical look at the Constitution that grants us the power to create a commission that will oversee the armed forces. Let me emphasize that this commission will strengthen the unity of our country rather than creating disunity. It will be in our own interest if we give this bill a second reading, Bawacha argued. Contributing, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, APC, Nasarawa, queried the choice of time for the presentation of the bill, wondering why the sponsor will do it now. I want to lend my voice to the debate on this bill for the establishment of Armed Forces Commission. Mr. President, inasmuch as the call for this bill would appear to be in consonance of the provisions of the Constitution as being highlighted in the lead debate, I want to ask, why now? The mover of this bill has been a senator since 2007, this is his fourth term in the Senate, why now? Adamu asked. Similarly, Senator Adamu Bulkachua, APC, Bauchi North, opposed the bill, saying the existing Federal Character Commission, FCC, can address the issues raised. I look at the whole scenario. The federal character is already enshrined in the Constitution, and federal character starts from the beginning of any recruitment into the public service. To hide under the cover of Section 219 of the Constitution is just an academic exercise. I think we should advise the mover of the bill withdraw this matter and let's move ahead, Bolkachua said. For his part, Senator Danjuma Goj, APC, Gombe Central, said he cannot go against the Constitution of Nigeria, but he was against the bill as it is divisive. I will say clearly that I will never go against the Constitution of Nigeria, as we have all sworn to promote and defend the Constitution of Nigeria. For us to introduce something that will bring disunity into the armed forces is to create more problems for ourselves in this country, Goj opined. In support of the bill, Senator Chukwuka Utazi, PDP, Enugu North, said the bill was straightforward and it's only incumbent on them as lawmakers to give effect to the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is an institution for distinguished, eminent, respectable individuals. The issue before all of us here is a thorough legislative matter, and it is presented in the Parliament for us to give effect to the 1999 Constitution as amended. And every provisions of the Constitution are very straightforward. I want to say that the essence of whatever we are doing here as enunciated in the 1999 Constitution is to respect the diversity of this country, Utazi argued. Given the arguments and apparent ethnic coloration of the debate, Senator Abaribe called for the enforcement of Order 73 of the Senate Standing Rule, asking for a division of the House. The Senate immediately moved into a closed-door session at about 12:23 p.m. and resumed plenary at 12:43 p.m. Thereafter, the President of the Senate Ahmad Lawan, as is customary, reported that at the closed-door session, the Senate deliberated on the issues bordering on workings of the Senate in particular and the National Assembly in general. We have appealed to the Minority Leader, Abaribe, to withdraw the Standing Order 73, and of course the Minority Leader and any senator here will have the opportunity to look into that bill in the future. For more consultations, so that variety of ideas referring to the constitution of the bill will be such that when it comes, we should have a jet speed passage, and I believe that this is something we are used to in Parliament. So, I will invite the Minority Leader, having heard our appeal, that we don't have to go into the ruling of the order he raised. We can do without it, and opportunity will also be available for him to represent this bill better after due consultations with colleagues here. So, Minority Leader, on behalf of all of us, I am appealing to you that let us withdraw Order 73 so that the business of the Senate will continue, Lawan appealed. Responding, Abaribe said, in order to preserve the dignity of this chamber, I wish to withdraw my Order 73, and for us to be able to do further consideration of the bill, I wish to also step down the consideration of this bill. The Senate thereafter adjourned plenary till Tuesday next week. Meanwhile, shortly after adjournment, the Senate spokesman, Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Basiru, told the Senate press corps at a briefing that there was nothing unusual about the decision of the Senate. He added that the closed-door session afforded senators to speak frankly on the subject matter, and that those against the bill expressed fear of over-politicization of the armed forces.